Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into a project I know a lot of you RC builders find really satisfying, adding a driver figure to the Tamiya Neo Fighter, the DT-03 buggy specifically.
It's a fantastic kit, isn't it? Super popular, really affordable.
Exactly, but that empty cockpit, it just kind of stares back at you, doesn't
It
it?
does. It leaves you wanting that little extra bit of realism.
So, our mission today is basically to figure out how we put a pilot in that seat and, make it look good, make it look like it belongs there.
And it's a good question to start with. Why isn't there one in the first place? I mean, it's a modern kit.
Right.
Well, it's actually a deliberate design choice from Tamiya.
Ah.
That chassis, the DT-03, it's got this really sleek, slim monocoque frame.
The single shell thing.
Exactly. It's all about performance, ease of assembly, and getting that weight centralized for good handling.
Okay.
So to do that, they've packed all the important electronics, your battery, the speed controller, the receiver, right down the center line.
Ah, so there's just no room left.
Pretty much, yeah. No empty space for a driver figure as it comes out of the box. So the first big challenge, really, for anyone wanting to do this mod is figuring out where to move that stuff.
Okay, that makes total sense from a performance angle. So assuming we figure out the space issue, which we'll get to, what are the actual options for the pilot figure itself? Where do we find one?
You've basically got three main routes, three pathways to get your driver.
Okay.
First up, you've got the classic Tamiya option. That's the buggy driver figure set, part number 54626.
Yeah, the little helmeted guy.
That's the one. Super affordable, usually like $4, maybe $6. And it gives you that proper vintage Tamiya look, kind of like the drivers from the Hornet or the Grasshopper back in the day.
Nice, proper retro feel. What's
Yeah.
the downside?
The main catch is it needs some custom mounting. It wasn't designed for the DT-03 specifically, so you got to figure out how to attach it.
Right, a bit of DIY involved. Okay, keeping it old school. What if you want something maybe a bit more integrated?
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Option 2 is what I'd call the next generation solution. You look at the DT-03's successor, the Tamiya DT-04 Fighter NXGN.
Oh, the newer one.
Exactly. That kit actually comes with a detailed driver figure and a cockpit that's purpose-built for it. And the really clever part is the design allows the driver figure to slide forward so you can get to the battery easily.
No way, that's smart.
It's brilliant. And since a lot of DT-02 and DT-03 parts fit the DT-04, you might be able to actually source those specific DT-04 driver and cockpit parts separately.
Ah, for a factory engineered look and function.
Precisely. That sliding thing isn't just neat, it's a massive practical improvement. Think about swapping batteries quickly without worrying about knocking your driver about.
Yeah, that's a huge plus. Okay, so classic Tamiya, DT-04 parts. What's the third way? For the real customizers.
For ultimate control, you head to the digital frontier, 3D printing.
Ah, knew it.
Yep. Sites like Thingiverse, they've got generic 110 scale driver figures you can download and print. But the real power here is designing your own stuff.
Like what?
Custom trays to hold those electronics you moved, bespoke brackets to mount the driver exactly how you want, maybe even a whole drop-in cockpit interior designed perfectly for the Neo Fighter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That opens up a ton of possibilities. But quick question on 3D printing for something small like a driver figure. Getting the detail right can be tricky, can it? Any quick tips for someone maybe new to printing?
Yeah, good point. Detail is key. You probably want to use an FDM printer with a fine nozzle, say 0.2 millimeters. Or even better, a resin printer if you have access to one. Resin just nails the fine details.
Right.
And really dial in your settings, especially things like retraction and print speed, to avoid stringing or blobs on small parts like helmets or hands. Lots of help online for specific printer settings, too.
Great practical advice. Okay, so let's say we've got our figure, whether it's classic, next-gen, or printed. Before it goes in the car, it needs painting, right? Needs to look the part. What's involved there?
Absolutely. Prep is key. So you're going to need your basic tools, a sharp hobby knife, sprue cutters if it came on a frame, and some fine sandpaper to clean up any seams or mold lines.
Standard model prep.
Yep. Then painting. Oh, we always use a primer first. It just helps the paint stick so much better. Then thin coats of acrylic hobby paints are your best bet. Tamiya's X or XF series paints are perfect for this hard plastic.
Okay, X or XF, not the PS ones.
Definitely not the PS series. That's super important. PS paints are for the flexible polycarbonate bodies. They won't stick right to the hard styrene plastic of the figure, and they can even damage it.
Good warning. Okay, primer, thin coats of XXF acrylics. Anything else?
Yeah, finish it off with a clear coat, matte, or gloss, depending on the look you want. It just protects paint job from scratches and handling.
Perfect. Pilot painted, looking sharp. Now, back to that big challenge, making space. You mentioned relocating the electronics. How exactly do we tackle that?
Right, the Tetris game. Okay, the simplest place for the ESC, the speed controller, is usually on one of the chassis side pontoons, those sort of flat areas on the side. Just stick it down firmly with good quality double-sided servo tape.
Okay, ESC on the side. What about the receiver? It's usually smaller.
Yeah, for the receiver, a little custom solution often works best. You can make a small plate, maybe about 30 by 40 millimeters, add a plastic card that's thin sheet styrene.
Plastic card, right.
Mount that plate vertically, maybe next to the steering servo, using an existing screw hole and more tape, and then stick the receiver onto that plate. Keeps it neat and out of the way.
Fabricating a plate might sound a bit tricky for a total beginner, though. Any simpler hacks? Or maybe something off the shelf?
Yeah, fair point. You could probably find small, generic electronics plates sometimes. Or, honestly, just get creative. A sturdy piece of plastic cut from some packaging, like a blister pack, could work in a pinch. The main thing is just getting a flat, vertical surface to mount it securely.
Okay, cool. Be resourceful. So, ESC moved, receiver relocated, the cockpit is finally clear. Now, how do we actually get the driver in there and make him stay put? What are the mounting strategies?
Right, the moment of truth. Once that space is clear, you've got three main ways to mount your pilot. First is the most straightforward. Body-mounted pilot.
Okay, sounds simple.
It is. You basically just attach the driver figure directly to the inside of the clear polycarbonate body shell. You can use a strong epoxy glue, or for a bit more security, maybe drill tiny holes and use small screws with a little plastic backing plate on the outside.
So the driver comes off with the body.
Exactly. Simple, effective.
Okay. What if you want something, I don't know, a bit more solid feeling?
Then you go for option 2. Chassis-mounted pilot. This is a bit more advanced, but it gives a more robust and arguably more realistic feel.
How so?
Because the driver stays with the chassis when you take the body off, kind of like in a real car. You fabricate a custom bracket, could be plastic card, could be 3D printed, that attaches to existing screw holes on the main chassis tub. Then you mount the driver figure onto that bracket.
Ah, I see. So he's part of the car's structure, not just stuck to the flimsy shell.
Precisely. It feels much more integrated, much more solid. Cleaner look inside, too, usually.
Nice. And the third way, you mentioned replicating that DT-04 feature.
Yeah, that's the expert level.
Yeah.
Replicating the DT-04 sliding mount. This is the most ambitious approach. You'd need to design and build a custom rail and slider system right onto the chassis floor.
Wow.
Yeah, complete with some kind of locking mechanism so the driver figure can slide forward just like on the NXGN, giving you that easy battery access without removing the figure. It's truly blending the looks with clever function.
That's seriously cool, but definitely sounds like a project. So this whole deep dive really shows adding a driver isn't just following step 1, 2, 3 in the manual, is it? It's more like bridging that gap into real model making, figuring out your own engineering solution.
Absolutely. It forces you to think about how the car works, how things fit together, and how you can modify it creatively. So maybe a final recommendation, kind of based on skill level?
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Okay, so for the beginner modeler just getting into customizing, I'd say stick with the classic Tamiya #54626 figure. It's cheap, looks the part, and use that simple body-mounted method. It's a great way to dip your toes in.
Makes sense. Easy win.
For the intermediate modeler, someone comfortable with a bit more fabrication, maybe take on the challenge of sourcing those DT-04 parts we talked about, or 3D printing a simple bracket and aim for that chassis-mounted pilot. It gives a much cleaner, more robust result.
Right, stepping it up.
And then, for the expert or the 3D printing guru, go nuts. Embrace the 3D printing. Design a fully custom integrated solution. Maybe even try replicating that awesome DT-04 sliding mechanism. The sky's the limit, really.
Fantastic breakdown. You know, ultimately, when you finish this project, it feels like it does way more than just fill an empty seat, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It gives your Neo Fighter character personality. It turns it from just another kit into something that's uniquely yours, a reflection of your effort and your passion for the hobby.
Exactly, and that's the real satisfaction, isn't it? Making it your own. That's what RC customizing is all about.